कोणासाठी कोणासाठी मनोमिती किती कोण बदलावे, कोणासाठी किती कोणासाठी 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 तुझं माझं काही नाही, तुझं माझं काही नाही, तुझं थोडं माझं थोडं मिळून बनलंय एक कोडं, एवढंच. बाकी त्यात काही नाही, तुझं माझं काही नाही. एकच रस्ता होता म्हणून तोच घेणं भाग होतं, दुसरं कोणी नव्हतं म्हणून बोलणं चालणं भाग होतं, बोलणं चालणं झालं म्हणून थोडं खुपणं भाग होतं, थोडं दुखणं भाग होतं. तक तक तकचप तखर तखसां तख नजां तख मख तखज तख डर तख तखज तख जख ज ज अज. ऐसा पांढरा पांढरा न देखिला न पाहिला. We draw because we can breathe. We sing because we can breathe. And we speak because we can breathe. It is just the breathing that keeps us active, alive, yes, but active. And hence the breathing has been addressed in a very specific way by Sant Jnaneshwar. And he says, Shwas hi prabandha hovaye. Shwas, breathing. Each and every breath you take in and out has to be a creative endeavor. So next time you breathe, please be creative. That is expected of a human being. Shvasahi prabandha. Prabandha is not PhD, but prabandha prakarshena bandha, bandlela, or structure together, is a creative act. So we are really talking about, it's all about breathing, taking the air in and taking it out. But it is so much in it. So much has been talked about this in the terms of a dhvani, sound. Sound we hear, sound we create. Of course, it is Kathopanishad, it is said that though we hear or we speak, we do not know how we hear, how we speak, or we do not know who gets it done through us. Means somebody else is there who gets it done through us. We don't do it. So Kathopanishad says that who he is, who is he, we don't know. And still that answer is not found. Dhvani, Nad. Nad comes out of Vadya. वाद्येन जायते. वाद्यातून ज्याचा जन्म होतो तो नाद. So immediately they say, oh, but human throat is also vadya, kantha. Human throat is also vadya. So this human throat is capable of creating nadas. Nad, anahata nad, ahata nad. Anahata इस घट अंदर अनहद गरजे. Kabir has said this. If you hear an empty vessel, that's a nad inside, but it is created by not having two objects clashed on each other, but it is Swayambhu. So when we say that I can hear myself within me, it means it is an anahata, not an ahata. But now at the moment we will be talking about ahata. Ahat is also that something gets either obstructed. So if I had to say the tongue has to strike behind my teeth. ta, tha, da, dha, na. I have no choice. Means, if I will press my lips together and throw the air from inside, which is first obstructed ahata inside the lips and comes out, then only it is a pa, pa, ba, ba, ma. This has been very well defined in the Indian tradition. Perhaps nowhere else so well articulated in terms of the ancient texts. So it is a recitation tradition of a Vedic text. Vedas, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, Samaveda. So those who know those who know four Vedas, Chaturvedi, Dvivedi, Trivedi, goes back to that. The Vedic Sanskrit recitation tradition has cared for a very minute nuances of a human speech, nowhere else in the world. Because these were prayers. These were prayers to please some unknown power, so that it will shower, it will rain, it will do this, it will do that. Sun will shine every day. Pray. So the prayer has to be articulated in a proper intonation. Only then it is effective. Effective in a sense, even these days, in Ganesh Chaturthi, we bring an idol. It's just some lump of clay, some shape, okay, but it is just clay, and in that clay you put a prana pratishtha. So you are the Brahman on that day, that you are going to give a life to that clay, small little statue. And that has to be done only through few selected, appointed, well articulated sounds. And those have to come from the human throat. What a fantastic power it is that through a proper articulation and through subtle pronunciations, you can pour spirit, pour a life into a just ordinary statue of clay. What a fantastic thought. Well, then phonetic classification of linguistic sounds, as I said just now. But the sounds are of two types, where you get some obstacle or you don't get some obstacle. Swayam rajate, it is swara. Swar, vowels. They don't have any obstacle. You have to just say no obstacle that I. It doesn't need a help. They are swayambhu on their own. And those who need some help, are these friends. As I explained just now, the classification from where these emerge, so that tatha dadhana, you have to have the tongue strike at the back of the teeth, pafa babama, etc. So we are talking about two prithak prayatna. Is one without hindrance as a vowel, and other ones with some obstacle in it which we have to cross. So we are saying over here minimal sound unit according to Indian tradition is varna. Varna. So we have on one side vowel varnas. Varna we can translate temporarily as a phonemes. Phonemes. So vowel phonemes and consonant phonemes. See, because what now I am going to say in a few more minutes, that how this fantastic Indian tradition has been not clearly understood by so many people, and we mix too many things all together, about which I will talk in a few minutes later. But let's go step by step. So we have got now two situations: the consonant phonemes varna, vyanjana varna, and vowel varna. And since vowel varnas, they are swayam rajate, they can stand on its own, but the consonants, they really can't stand on their own, so they need some help of a vowel. Either you add a into it, or I into it, or e into it. So then we get ka plus a, ka plus a, ka plus e, ki. U, ku. I mean, as we have learned in our schools, the combinations of ka, ka, ki, ki, ku, ku, but actually this combination is actually a combination of sounds. This is the point which I am to make. So here we are talking about the varna, and in the Paninian Shiksha, the varna has been also described in quite a detailed way. तेषां विभागः पंचधा स्मृतः स्वरतः कालतः स्थानात् प्रयत्नात् अनुप्रदानात्. Can you read that? Yes. प्रधानतः इति वर्णविदः प्राहुर निपुण ते निबोधत. So only O not enough, only A not enough. By tone, by pitch. So pitch can be there or here, so O can be pronounced in that way. Then kalataha, I can say oh, how much kal? So O is actually short, means rasva, atirasva, dirgha, atidirgha. There are 4 types. Kalataha, because the time aspect is there. Then sthanat, the place from which is articulated, and then process of articulation is important, how it is processed. And then of course the secondary features are anunasik, nasal addition. So after you have added all these features, then comes the nasal addition. So actually the vowel phonemes are a, e, u, r, l, a, I, o, au. That r is also now almost forgotten. But see, you will really need now henceforth to really feel it, how you speak, how this entire thing happens over here. When you say what happens to the tongue? How does it move? When I asked Dr. Ranade that look, they say that in Vedas there are 18 types of anuswaras. We will say Ganga or Gang dot on the top, finish. We are not concerned about it. But actually that anuswar is of 18 types have been identified. Visargas have been identified in a similar way. Ardha Visargas. So I asked him that is it really possible? So he said actually from in this small span of about 2.5 inches, more than 2,000 pronunciations are possible if we really know about it and if we are able to do it. And this entire structure exists with us through our own tradition. So sum up, I'm just saying over here as a part one that we are really talking about here, apart from so many things. Do I see here uchar? Nowhere is uchar there, right? So from our field, uchar seems to have gone out. And when we say that we are AV people, audio visual people, what happens to that audio? So actually the time has come that we have to pay more attention to the uchar amongst so many other additional things, I know. But so the audio aspect is fine. So let's go ahead and see how it affects us in terms of the actual work. So let me complete this a bit so that we don't want to come back onto this. I think I have talked about it a bit, right? Yes, but let me get this a bit clear, because that last word over there, Swaroksharam, is Aksharam. So, which are the Akshars? Akshar, we are translating it at the moment, is syllable. Here, the first one is what? Savyanjana. If you add a swar, means vowel, into a consonant, if you add these two sounds, then it becomes akshara. Then it becomes syllable. Then with nasalization, akshar can also be with a nasalization mark on the top. Means o and the dot on the top. But as soon as you say come, what happens there? The first, you will get a consonant phoneme as ka, then you will get a vowel phoneme as a, and then you will get a nasalization mark. Come. Sanuswara Shuddho api. Means Shuddha means only vowel phoneme can also be called akshar. Means what we write A-E. So A is also a phoneme, vowel phoneme, and A is also syllable. So the definition of akshar is so clear in tradition, and this definition is based on the two varieties of sounds. How we write it is a different issue. Means you write ka in Bengali or Devanagari is a different issue. But the basic fundamental phonetics in all Indian languages, as far as a bhash means vak, means vani, speech is concerned, that you either have the pure sounds of vowels, as I said, A, and you write it down, O, I, E, or you have the pure sounds of consonants and you add vowels into it, and then that becomes akshara, means a syllable. Philosophically, in Tamil literature, ancient one, vowel is called also soul, is a vir, and consonant is called body, is a me. That unless you put a soul into the body, the akshara will not emerge. Otherwise it will be a dead one. So the concept of a dead consonant is there and a live consonant is there. So you have this concept here. So you take the consonant from here, vowel into it, consonant to vowel, consonant to vowel, consonant to vowel, consonant to vowel. Just go on adding it. You just go on adding it, adding it, adding it. Then you have nuances of consonants. Means k or k. K, h. So the pratak prayatna, my tongue, my this entire organs inside, they have to have a different treatment to the k kanun from Urdu. Or aj, ab, ag from Sindhi. So these are again, you have got this lot over here. So k, say ordinary k that way, then you add a subtle nuance to it, either from Urdu or from Kashmiri or from here or from there, and the whole range increases over here. In the same way, the range increases over here. And you, this combination, if you do it, what happens? What happens is this. What happens is this. You get only for k or k. These are the 3,000 phonemic combinations of only k. And they actually exist. And we are exposed to at the moment up to here. This is a repertoire of k. Then you can have your 34 consonants plus extra more, and you can calculate what a type of a repertoire in terms of a phonetic heritage we have here in India. And parallel to that, to transcribe that as a Rekhan, you have followed some methodology and you have created all these alphabets.
but actually basically these are all the sounds. So these, with such a parallels, where we have some of these things you put on the top here or the base, etc. I don't have to go into that much of detail now in terms of structure, but I'm keen really to talk about more about the sound and how Indian tradition has really created meticulously a very scientific model which can be followed graphically if we wish, or if we wish to care for. Well, let's and why I'm now, why I say this, because graphically you have got these combinations which I have shown you, and some of them can also look like this, and to do these we have got that course on Siddham script, about which I will not talk anymore, because these have been put one below another. Means, say, clean. So K and low below K and L, not K and L, K and L. Or say Karsnya, R T S N Y, 5. So R T S N Y, 5. There, 5. Such a parallels in terms of from the sound to the graphics was achieved in almost in a perfection, as we see it over here in a Siddham script, and hence Siddham. I mean, of course, in a new technology, or say, I would say that earlier we had a choice to do it by hand, so we can go down or can go in this way, but now through the new technology, if such a thing exists that we want to put the K under K, and we want to put those vowel signs on the top and their nuances in terms of a horizontal line at the base called Anudatta, and on the top you will see also vertical line is Udatta, is a pitch signs. You have the tonal values identified. So such a complicated cases, they are to be put right graphically. So of course the rules are to be also given to the machine, and the program has to be planned out in that way, and so we can get an correct things of the correct things of this type. Now it is possible through the technology, means present digital technology, not earlier earlier linear technology. So the complexity will emerge of this type. And since so many pronunciations I have already talked about, such cases exist. The top, the numeral is from a Samaveda. Samam Veda, they have another way to indicate that how that recitation it will be taken, either up or down, and on the numerals on the top, if that had to be done with a vibrating effect, then some syllables were put on the top over there as symbols. So all these accent and intonation marks lead towards a perfect writing system as graphics from the great phonetic tradition of India. So, with your permission now, let me add here the words called uchar. So uchar has to be a legitimate part of our activity. If we agree on this point, then so pronunciation includes delivery. Actually, in the theory, you create this entire uchar or pronunciation internally. It is a perfect sound internally. And you try to take it out. So theoretically, when it comes out, it is the second attempt. It is not the first attempt. The first attempt is really inside. Still the thing has not come out. That is the first stage. And stage number 2, you try to take it out. So here, if a dialogue is a style of a dialogue differs, right? So the style of a dialogue over here, or the tone, or the sort of approach here, as compared to here, here is not identical. Then again, there, this and this is the same. This and this is the same, but this will be a different thing. I know I'm really talking about almost the basic principles. The typography has to be heard. So here in the literary, we are trying to say, oh, in a newspaper we hear the main headline loud and clear, and the other one subcaptions, captions. Yes, it's a very, very mundane thing to really start with. But the point for us, those who are involved in phonetics and graphics, this is not a mundane thing. For the person outside these four walls, it may be. Oh, it's a bold, so it's loud. Fine. But for us, we have to still go deeper into it. So then the non-utterance is a part of utterance. That has to be calculated well. So I can't really afford to pronounce the first part of the poem in a linear, continuous way. The pauses are part of the delivery. Not a big deal. Okay, it's done. So what? If a if thematically the pronunciation has to be distorted or then the whole thing has to turn in that way. Even if you can't read it in just an ordinary, very cozy, easy, linear way, and you are happy there with no, go beyond that. So we may have to then think in the terms of even some new types of type designs to associate with some nuance of utterance. And if that happens in the two lines, this entire text will be composed in that way. There is a possibility. I have shown this slide umpteen times over here in this very hall, but I am showing this once again, but in a different context now. That is the vinyas concept of a skeletal approach, that you have a main core shape about which Edward Johnson has talked about in his book. Early 20s, and he talks about this core form. So your core form, your core pronunciation has to be there first. The k has to have a threshold of k. The k-ness of k has to be there. And then you add the dimension to it. You add anunasika, you add anudatta, udatta, rasva, dirgha, all those nuances you add it. But the core form, and this threshold these days is a problem, especially now the people are talking about text to speech and speech to text and speech to speech. We have to be very serious. Because if they say, and they say it, speech to speech, finish. Where are we? I'll be there, sure. We'll be always there. But the role will change. So now think in the terms. Even the k-ness, the earness of ear is over here. So in pronunciation, the earness of ear has to be identified. And this is not happening, and only designers can help these speech people, in my opinion. If we can get into it straight away, and force and with conviction that there is a definite relationship. So this slide I thought to show it to once again, but in a different context. This was the outcome of a Vinyas program, but about which I have not talked about. But this slide I have not shown it, but I will show it again in this context again. This is a parent-child model. I developed it long time back in 80s at TIFR, where you have a slight nuances of sir, slightly a serif there, serif here, is there, that there, that there. Same thing. So your articulation, not only in English, not only in Hindi or Marathi or Kannada or this, that, but the whole process has to be understood very clearly by graphic designers. Only then they will help in this new technology, text to speech and speech to text. This slide, I'm showing it here for the first time. Last month I was there in Seattle with Microsoft people. The BS site. Now, let me not say what it is, but what I want to say I will say. All right, first I will say that what it is. This is the thing. If the alphabets have to go onto the screen in a decent way, not chalta hai, not the dots are gone, disappeared, looks like a duh, looks like tuh. This is clipped over here, dots are not there. So this whole technology is to take that alphabet, Indian alphabet, Telugu, Kannada, and put onto the screen. These are technologies called hinting. I am saying that take these alphabets and put into this technology of phonetics. For that, what do? They have these pegs. They have these controls. So you keep a control on anudatta, how the anudatta can be pronounced and also written. You keep a control on that. Otherwise, nobody will do it. I'm telling you. These people across over there, technologies have no time. Pace. This has to be done. They will do it. Either with you or without you. I should say us. With us or without us. So I'm showing you here the 11th century Dhar inscription from King Bhoja's Bhojashala at Dhar, in which a fantastic, beautiful model of conjuncts, about which we are not talk today, but conceptually you exhaust your nuances of consonants, then take two consonants together and go ahead. Take k and add k, take k, add g, take k, add g, take k, add ng. Go on adding it. What a fantastic! It's it's a almost well, you count. I'm not good at that, but actually the point I'm trying to make here, these are the structures. Let's see the row number 2, this almost ma, beautiful one, right, or ma, this 1 2 3 4 5 6, sixth one, that ma and her and that hey on the top there, and then 6th, 7th, 8th and the 9th one, ma. Now this is a core beautiful model. If the ma has to be pronounced in a very different way, means with some accentuated way, you have to either add some structure to it, or you have to make some change in the structure itself. This has not been done so far. Conjuncts have not been touched by us so far. If these subtle nuances of pronunciations are to be still added into it, that will be really a new type of conjuncts which we have not created. Yeah. So what I'm proposing is this, that this we already know, these are dimensions, the size and weight and this and that, but here is a time dimension. And we add now there as an audio, the sound, the nad, so that this matrix is complete. Because as soon as you add that, all the parameters of a nad, the only few we have seen now, but if you go deep down, then comes the timbre and texture of your voice, your age, your sex, type of person, your style of delivery, your quality of voice, all these come in. And if they come in, the point which I am trying to make now, that look, if the speech has to turn into text, for heaven's sake, don't again say, oh, this speech has turned into linear one, linear one, linear one, linear one, linear one, linear one. The tonality of the speech, all the nuances of speech, if a speech has to be rendered into text, those audio, those sound qualities must reflect in your interpretation. What we have done for last 500,000 or audio years is from writing to writing. Please think about it. Writing to writing. So you see some handwritten stuff over there, you type, tuk, 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 finish. You would printed stuff over here, you see, tuk, 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 over. Now you will not get a writing as your base. No chance. The people are going to speak to the computers. No, sorry. This speech has to be turned into text, and I don't want to see the text again in a 12-point Times Roman on a 36 m's width with a 2-point leaded goes on and 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 on. This can be done by the mundane people outside these four walls, not by us. Do we have the way to show how the typography will change? The basis is there. Basis is there in Indian tradition of phonetics.